Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Åshild, and today we're going to do part 11 of me swatching my entire eyeshadow collection into color categories. And today we're going to do purple and indigos. This is probably one of my least favorite color for eyeshadow. I don't know what it is. I don't think it looks good on my skin. Maybe it has to do with the undertone, because there are differences. You know, there are some purples I like more than others, but those really bright violet indigo purples are just not my jam. I absolutely love periwinkles and lavender shades, and it's kind of ironic that I have this many purples when purple is not my favorite color. But anyways, we're gonna jump right into it. I have a lot here. I tried to kind of divide them into a row of mattes and then rest of it metallics. Okay, we're just going to start from the top. This is a pastel color that is in the Pastels palette from Beautybay. It's called Euphoria, and it's a matte pastel lilac purple. Then we have from Huda Beauty new nude palette. This is called Spanked, and it's a medium dark berry. Next to that we have from the Milani Most Loved Mattes palette. This is called No Plum Intended, and it's a warm matte dark plum. From Colorpop, You Had Me at Hello. We have the color Looksy, and this is a cool medium berry purple. Next to that, we have from the Freedom System from Inglot, number 297, a matte dark purple. Next to that, we have two eyeshadows from the Huda Beauty New Nude palette again. The first one's called Love Bite, and the second is called Raw, this one right here. This is described as a cool deep berry, and the next one is described as a warm medium brownie plum, and it does have a lot of brown to it. Then next to that we have from the Bright Mattes palette from Beautybay. This is Purple Rain. I love the name, one of my favorite songs. And this is a matte dark violet. And then lastly on this row we have Brave from the Balm palette Nude Beach. And this is a dark plum with pink sparkles. So this is the only one that has some sparkles on this row. Then moving on to metallics, we have this first one right here. This is from Huda Beauty New Nude palette. It's called Fantastci, and it's a warm medium, kind of like coral reddish plum, I would say. And the next one next to that is called Kinky from the same palette, and this is a warm medium, also reddish plum, but this is more like a raspberry reddish shade. And then this one we have from the You Had Me at Hello palette, the one that's in my Pema palette for this year, from Colourpop, FBO, and this is a warm medium plum. Next to that we have this one, which is a supershock shadow from Colourpop, and this is called Prickly Pear, and this is a warm plum with gold and pink glitters. Then we have two shades from an Essence palette that I have called I Like to Mauve It. And this first shade is called Into It, and this is a dark purple. And the next one is called Fantastic, and this is more of a black purple. And then we have this really dark shade. This is called Drama from the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this is a warm dark plum. Then we have these two next shades. They're beautiful. And this first one is called Erupt. So they're both from My Atlantis palette from W7, if I didn't say, which is a dupe for the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. The Erupt shade is a deep, cool purple, whilst Poseidon over here is a cool medium purple with sparkles. And this is also a pretty like creamy shade, and I've actually hit pan on this as well. I think it's the only shade I've hit pan on. Well, I've actually hit pan on this one too, but that's not very difficult. It's pretty easy. They're kind of chalky. And then these last three right here I managed to squeeze them in. This first one is also from the Norvina palette. The name is called Celestial, and this is a warm medium purple. And then we have the last two from the So Jaded palette. These two right here from Colorpop. The first one is Alexandrite, and this is a medium plum purple with pearl finish. And then this last one over here is called Amethyst, and this is a cool dark purple with a frosty finish. And this is like a perfect example of just a beautiful color, but I have a really hard time using this as an eyeshadow. I'm not comfortable using this kind of shade. I have used it several times, obviously, but it's not, absolutely not my go-to. When it comes to like favorites and duds, and yeah, I did find 5 like favorite shades from here, and then 2 that I would absolutely not recommend, because most of these shades are not shades I typically gravitate towards, but they're still beautiful. They're still, I'm sure there's a lot of people who loves these kinds of shades, and I do like a lot of these, but they're just not my go-to shades. So therefore a lot of these are not my favorite, like even though they're good quality shadows, you know. So my favorite shades is, let's see, this one from the Milani palette, Most Loved Mattes, No Plum Intended, and then this one from You Had Met Hello, from Colourpop, the shade Looksy. I think those are like my favorite actually shades that I really enjoy using. But I mean, this one too, it's absolutely not a shade I use a whole lot. I probably only use it for like Halloween and, you know, just having fun with makeup kind of looks. But it's a beautiful shade, the one from the Bright Mattes palette from Beautybay called Purple of Rain. It's just very pigmented, like super pigmented, and very nice to work with. So I'm gonna name those 3 mattes as my favorites. And there's really no shade really between the mattes that I absolutely do not like at all. But when it comes to the metallics, my favorite shade is the Supershock shadow from Colourpop in Prickly Pear. It's just a very beautiful shade, although I hate the fact that it has so much fallout. And then I would say this one, the one that I hit pan on, from the W7 palette, My Atlantis, the shade called Poseidon. It's just gorgeous. And my 2 least favorite shades that I just don't use, the only reason I keep it is because of the rest of the shades in the palette, but these 2 shades from Essence I Like to Move It palette, the shades called Into It and Fantastic, they're just so bad. I don't like the shades. I don't like, well, maybe this could be a good shade if it was good quality. They're super patchy. They're not pigmented. I had to layer this on for me to even show you a swatch. It's just so bad, so bad. Okay, and then what else do I need to tell you? All of these shades are cruelty free, if that's of any interest for you. And yeah, I think that's it. Let me know which purple eyeshadows you like. Do you like to use purple as an eyeshadow? Or are you more like me? Like, I would love to hear, what are you guys' least favorite eyeshadow color and your absolute favorite eyeshadow color? Like, my least favorite eyeshadow color is probably like bright greens and purples. And then my favorite eyeshadow colors are probably taupes and mauve shades and like periwinkle shades, like lavender shades, and warm browns, like reddish browns, and golds. Okay, those are all my favorites. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Bye!